Whitmore Estate had always been a place of whispered legends and family secrets. Its sprawling rose garden, the pride of the neighborhood. When Emma Whitmore returned after years away, she was determined to restore the house to its former glory, hoping to heal old wounds and reconnect with her roots. The first days of renovation were filled with dust, laughter, and the scent of fresh paint. But everything changed when the workers, clearing the tangled rose bushes, struck something hard beneath the soil. Emma watched in horror as they unearthed a bundle of bones, wrapped in decaying linen, the remains eerily preserved by the earth. The police arrived, cordoning off the garden and questioning the family. Emma's mind raced with questions. Who could be buried here? Why had no one ever found these bones before? As the sun set behind the estate, casting long shadows over the roses, Emma realized that the past she'd tried to escape was about to demand her attention in ways she could never have imagined. Unable to sleep, Emma wandered the halls of the old house, her footsteps echoing on the creaking floorboards. Drawn to the attic, she sifted through boxes of forgotten memories, old letters, faded photographs, and childhood toys. In a dusty trunk, she discovered a leather-bound diary, its cover cracked with age. The name Lillian Whitmore was etched inside, a name Emma recognized from family stories but knew little about. She opened the diary, her heart pounding as she read the first entry. "Tonight, I saw something I can never forget. If anyone finds this, know the truth lies beneath the roses." The entries were filled with fear and suspicion, hinting at arguments, secrets, and a growing sense of danger. Emma realized this diary might hold the key to the identity of the bones and the killer. As she read deeper, she felt the weight of her family's history pressing down on her, the lines between past and present beginning to blur. Emma spent the next day poring over Lillian's diary, piecing together the cryptic entries. Lillian wrote of late-night arguments, secret meetings in the garden, and a sense of dread that grew with each passing day. She described a family member consumed by jealousy and rage, someone who would do anything to protect the family's reputation. Emma matched the names in the diary to faces and old photographs, her mind racing with possibilities. The most chilling part was Lillian's final entry. "The one who did this still walks these halls. I fear for my life." Emma's heart pounded as she realized the murderer might still be alive and living under the same roof. Every glance, every word from her relatives now seemed loaded with hidden meaning. The house, once a place of comfort, now felt like a maze of secrets and lies. And Emma knew she had to uncover the truth before it was too late. The Whitmore estate was far from empty. Emma's Uncle Henry, her cousin Grace, and her aging grandmother all lived in the house, each with their own secrets and motives. Emma watched them closely, noticing how Henry avoided the garden, how Grace's hands shook when the police questioned her, and how her grandmother's eyes clouded with fear at the mention of Lillian. The tension in the house grew with each passing day, every conversation laced with suspicion and unease. Emma tried to recall every family story, every whispered argument she'd overheard as a child. Could one of them have committed murder all those years ago? And if so, what would they do to keep the truth buried? The sense of danger grew, and Emma realized she couldn't trust anyone, not even herself. The walls of the estate seemed to close in, the weight of generations of secrets pressing down on her as she searched for answers. Determined to uncover the truth, Emma returned to the rose garden at dawn, the air heavy with dew and the scent of earth. She retraced the workers' steps, searching for anything the police might have missed. Near the spot where the bones were found, she discovered a rusted locket, its chain tangled in the roots of an ancient rosebush. Inside was a faded photograph of Lillian and a man Emma didn't recognize. The diary had mentioned a forbidden love, a secret that had torn the family apart. Emma realized the locket could be the missing link between the victim and the killer. As she pocketed the locket, she felt a prickle of unease, as if someone was watching her from the shadows. The garden, once a place of beauty, now felt like a graveyard of secrets. Emma knew she was getting closer to the truth, but she also sensed that someone in the house would do anything to stop her from uncovering it. That night, as a storm raged outside, Emma sat in her room, reading more of Lillian's diary by the flickering light of a candle. The wind howled, rattling the windows, and the house seemed to groan with the weight of its secrets. Suddenly, a floorboard creaked outside her door. Emma quickly hid the diary and the locket, just as the door swung open. Uncle Henry stood in the doorway, his face pale and drawn. "You shouldn't dig into the past, Emma," he warned, his voice trembling with something between fear and anger. Emma stood her ground, demanding answers about Lillian and the man in the photograph. Henry's eyes darted away, and he muttered about family shame and old wounds that should have stayed buried. Emma realized he knew more than he let on, and that the truth was closer than ever. The confrontation left her shaken, but more determined than ever to bring the truth to light. And next morning, Emma found her grandmother sitting by the window, staring out at the rain-soaked garden. Gathering her courage, Emma sat beside her and gently asked about Lillian. Tears welled in the old woman's eyes as she finally spoke. Lillian had fallen in love with a man the family disapproved of, a man who had threatened to reveal their darkest secrets. One stormy night, he vanished without a trace. The family had always suspected foul play, but no one dared speak the truth. Emma pressed her grandmother for more, but she only whispered, "Some secrets are better left buried." Emma knew she couldn't stop now. The diary's final pages hinted at a hidden witness, someone who saw everything and kept silent for decades. Emma realized that the only way to free her family from the past was to find the witness and bring the truth into the light, no matter the cost. Emma spent hours scouring the diary for clues. Finally, realizing the hidden witness was Grace, her quiet and withdrawn cousin. She found Grace in the library, her hands trembling as she clutched a letter. With tears streaming down her face, Grace confessed she'd seen Henry arguing with Lillian's lover in the garden that night. She'd heard a struggle, then silence, and had been too terrified to tell anyone, fearing Henry's wrath and the family's judgment. Emma comforted her, promising protection and understanding. Together, they decided to bring the evidence, the diary, the locket, and Grace's testimony to the police. But as they prepared to leave, Henry intercepted them in the hallway, his face twisted with desperation and fear. The past was no longer content to stay buried, and Emma knew that the final confrontation was at hand. Cornered in the grand hallway, Henry's composure finally broke. With the family gathered and the police on their way, he confessed to the crime. He had acted out of jealousy and fear, convinced he was protecting the family's reputation from scandal. Lillian's lover had threatened to expose secrets that would have destroyed them all, and in a moment of rage, Henry struck him down and buried him beneath the roses. The family had lived with the lie for decades, each member haunted by guilt and silence. As the police led Henry away, Emma felt a strange mix of relief and sorrow. Justice had finally been served, but the family would never be the same. The truth, once unearthed, could not be buried again. Emma looked at the faces of her family, forever changed by the revelation, and wondered what the future would hold for the Whitmore legacy. With the truth revealed and Henry gone, the Whitmore estate felt lighter, as if a great weight had been lifted. Emma oversaw the final renovations, planting new roses in the garden as a tribute to the lost and the loved. The diary and locket were donated to the local museum, a reminder of the family's dark history and the courage it took to face it. Emma decided to stay, determined to build a future free from secrets and lies. She opened the estate to the community, hosting gatherings and sharing the story of the roses that had once hidden a terrible secret. As the garden bloomed once more, Emma knew the past would never be forgotten, but it no longer held her captive. The Whitmore legacy could finally begin anew, rooted in truth, resilience, and hope for generations to come.